Come, let us explore letting go. Tips nobody tells you, but are easy to do. So, tip number one, what letting go is not. Letting go of anxiety does not mean we no longer feel anxiety. For mindfulness is the first of 7 enlightenment factors and the 7th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. There is no enlightenment without mastery of mindfulness, and there is no mastery of mindfulness if we are striving to prevent ourselves from perceiving anything. Excuse me, the courage of vulnerability is profound. It takes nerves of steel to choose to be vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. To literally go along for the ride with whatever your circumstances, body, companions, or mind wish to show you. Excuse me. Let's review the mechanics. And I'm going to jump forward for this so I can find a visual aid. Every time when we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we automatically access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This sympathetic nervous system is evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But notice what? To notice mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like. Such as emotions, all of the emotions, intentions, thoughts, recollections, and imaginings. All of them. We are just vulnerable to whatever comes up. Whether that which comes up is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. Each time we silently oh yes, by the way, as a extra added bonus, each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we interrupt the habit of our cerebral cortex competing against our sympathetic nervous system. And in that pause, in that gap, in the interruption there, we set space for these two bad boys to cooperate. Every time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we automatically access the parasympathetic nervous system divided by the lower third and the upper third of this same spinal cord. Our parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to help us to physically relax and mentally release whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we interrupt our the competition. We interrupt the pattern of our prefrontal cortex competing against our parasympathetic nervous system. And in that operation, there is a gap where these two bad boys at last can cooperate. And it's the cooperation between these two and the cooperation between these two that is the magic, that is the secret sauce behind mindfulness and meditation. Let's go back to the list that we're working on. So if the goal is not to stop feeling what we're feeling, then what is the goal? To make peace with what we're feeling, which is exactly why we're going to switch texts real quick. I'm going to tap button 9, which is exactly why we often chant the following 3 triplets. Please chant with me. Whatever comes, may all beings let it come. Whatever stays, may all beings let it stay. Whatever goes, may all beings let it go. So it's easy to see from that recitation that one of the benefits of mindfulness and meditation is that we make peace with what comes up. Now, there is an understandable fear that too much peace will make us a doormat, forever having muddy boots metaphorically scraped across our face. Allow me to set your mind at ease. Once again, in order to do this, we're going to use a visual aid found in a different text. On second thought, let's stay over here and go back to button 5. So many texts to choose from. Let's see. The more we practice mindfulness and meditation, the more we cannot help but notice that our choices and our utterances and our deeds flow from the 6-fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path, the 6-fold's effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, which should not be confused with the scattered spontaneity that we might experience after powering down 3 energy drinks. That would be disastrous. But instead, the centered spontaneity, which is the spontaneous byproduct of our regular practice of mindfulness and meditation. I've said all of that to say this. When we practice the mechanics of mindfulness and meditation, it's safe. To paraphrase an old aphorism, the best laid plans of mice and men are often brought to ruin. That's where the magic of flowing or being in the zone or practicing the effortless effort come into play. It's also known in Buddhism as expedient means. And so there you have it. This concludes our opening lesson. What I'd like to do right now is shift gears. It is Yoda Monday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I could become your neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So let's turn to the very latest iteration of easy mantra meditation. And as always, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. So we already chanted this bit during class. Okay, here we go. By the way, the three mechanisms we play with the most in the contemporary practice of Dzogchen or Hatha Yoga or Mahasandhi is Anu Yoga's energy work, Hatha Yoga's mindfulness meditation, and Mahayoga's work with chanting similes. Let us rest the tip of our left index finger upon the tip of its thumb, and then rest this left hand upon its thigh. Doing so could gently invite or real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the crown region of our head. Let's chant. In our compassion may we long to free all beings, choices, utterances, and deeds from the tyranny of the survival impulses of hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. In our pragmatism may all liberation of all others be fueled by all reliance upon the Buddhas. Example, instructions, and students described by the metaphor of the three wish-often angels. We're now going to chant the essentialization of the past 4 pages. We're going to squeeze it down into just an 8-syllable summary. And if you want to do geriatric squat thrusts simultaneously in the direction of a Buddha image, you're welcome to, but it's not mandatory. But what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to do a real quick edit, because that's how life works sometimes. So let's see. I'm going to hit home and left indent. And I'm going to remove this image because it's just too thick, the way most of us will be after the holidays. Let's see, I'm going to insert a slimmer, cropped version of that same image. Pictures, Buddhist yoga, Kundu Zangpo, which sounds filthy, but it's not. Whoops, let's try that again. There we go. So I'm going to hit, let's see. I'm just going to make this teeny. There we go. While I'm at it, might as well just see what happens if I hit the center function. Oh, that happened. Okay. So I'm going to adjust the camera and waddle in position. So I have had to make adaptations to the Tibetan-style Buddha bowing because of my disabilities. May we free all through the three jewels. May we free all through the three jewels. May we free all through the three jewels. That simple exercise works all the muscles of the body, including the cardiopulmonary system. Cowabunga. Let's chant similes to better master the here we go. Anyway, let's chant similes to better master the impermanence and interdependence of the first fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. This is known as Mahayoga or Tantra Mahamudra. Let's chant together right now. All circumstances or thoughts could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could lithely absorb into this body or form. The Buddha taught that there were four bases of mindfulness. In this context, they would be the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. So we're going to play with this template 3 more times. Together, all bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could lithely absorb into this communicational speech. All interpersonal communicational speech could be as impermanent and interdependent as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could lithely absorb into this mind. All minds could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could lithely absorb into our vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn. Whoops, I forgot something. Don't I feel stupid? Wait one moment. When the final bit, I forgot to cut and paste. Woo, it's my face red. Do bear with me. Okay, here we go. So to recapture the momentum and the context, let's start right here. All minds could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could laughingly absorb into our vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although tantalizing to the eye, let's try this again, which although tantalizing to the eye, could be non-graspable to the hand. And now we've primed the pump. It's time for the first of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. So this is an excellent opportunity to review the 3 points of Bengali crease counting. The first point involves the right hand exclusively. Over the span of over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance the right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We now transition to the second part, which exclusively involves our left hand. When we multiply these 12 inhalations by 8 sets, that gives us 96 inhalations, which we keep track of on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. Now we come to part 3, where we work with both our hands simultaneously. For this exercise, let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite the real or imagined subtle energies to automatically and effortlessly coalesce at the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Let us chant an explanation of the Benzaguru mantra. I invoke teachers on action, on meditation, and whom view that the Benzatantra Guru teaches Pema enlightenment and siddhi abilities, whom may be mastered by all. And just as we mentioned during the opening lesson, these abilities are available to anybody who is able to allow their choices and utterances and deeds to flow from the centered spontaneity that is generated by practicing mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so. So here's how mantra meditation works. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the essential instructions of meditation and mindfulness. During our exhalation, we can do 2 things. We can physically relax as best we can. Number 2, while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Let's have a go. Let's give it a go. Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Pardon me. my Tatar partner made this amazing batch of biscotti, and like and like a chipmunk storing nuts in his cheeks, I got a whole bunch of the biscotti right up in here. So we switch gears now from the mantra meditation to the silent meditation, which is known by many names, such as Ati Yoga or Sutra Mahamudra. Quick review. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. That's called mindfulness. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release whatever we notice during our previous inhalation. That's known as meditation. Together as a team, let us practice this right now. We come now to the second of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to effortlessly and automatically coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. So, quick reminder, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Together. Om Mahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Now we shift gears from moment meditation to silent meditation. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, as we vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. During each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, as we physically relax and mentally release whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation. Together, let us practice right now. Welcome to the third of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to effortlessly and automatically coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Om Mahum Minzu Guru Me Masiri Hung. 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 Quick reminder, each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release whatever we notice during our previous inhalation. we come to the fourth of fifth mindful crease counting meditations. Now, this one is a bit challenging, because what we're going to do is rest all four of our right knuckles upon the tips of all four of our fingers. I'm not sure if you can see that. Palms up in our lap. Doing this gently invites our real or imagined subtle energies to effortlessly and automatically coalesce in the region of our throat that we feel tighten just before we cry. Om Ahum Guru Mimaziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Guru Mimaziri Hung. We come now to silent meditation. During each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. During our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. So each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation. Together, let us practice right now. Welcome to the final fifth of this evening's mindful crease counting meditation. Let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger. Palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to effortlessly and automatically coalesce at the crown region of our head. During our inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the essential instructions of meditation and mindfulness. During our exhalation, let's physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. If this is your first time hanging out with me or hanging out with me, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. We now shift gears away from mantra meditation and towards silent meditation. Quick review. Each time this is a little squished. Let me see if I can't adjust this. There we go. Let's see. There we go. I think that's a little better, a little less oppressive feeling. So each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Each time we silently and mentally recite the 1-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release whatever it is that we noticed during our previous inhalation. Together, let us practice right now, but first allow me to remind you of this. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. we're going to seal this evening's practice by chanting similes to better master the loving kindness of the second through fifth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. For enlightenment is nothing other than simply mastering the Eightfold Path. And that could be done in as little as a week. Let's chant. May each mind of each being known be as peacefully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a tikli one syllable zero bija mantra. These are not prayers to a real or imagined entity. These are not things that we have to believe in, for believing is rigidity and antithetical to letting go. We're simply exercising the neural pathways responsible for empathy. We're simply bringing the four bases of mindfulness, the mental, the interpersonal, the physical, and the circumstantial, into this path of empathy. Together. May all relationships, communication, or speech of all beings now be as beautifully loving as a real or imagined Buddha's speech, symbolized by a multisyllabic mantra. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha's statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Yidam, an archetype of enlightenment such as Kuntu Zangpo Yambyum. Let us lovingly wish that all beings be liberated from the tyranny of others. Let's try this again. Let us lovingly wish that all beings be liberated from the tyranny of others. Sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, classism, exploitation, fascism, jingoism, genocide, speciesism, and ecocide. May each circumstance or lot of thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 13 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. Due to the dynamic nature of some of my disabilities, the exact time of tomorrow's early class is a bit uncertain. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.